Hello, all my Frosty freaks out there, and you're probably wondering, why is the channel name changed to Frosty Talks Horror, and where have I been for a while? Well, frankly, I've decided to change this channel, change it around. I kind of want to get past gaming, not saying that there won't be any more gaming on the channel, but I'm just saying I wanted to try something new. So I actually wanted to talk about horror movies on this channel, because if you guys don't know, I am a huge horror fan. If you couldn't tell by how many horror games I played on the channel in the past, you know, including Resident Evil and The Last of Us and all that. But yeah, I just wanted to make a channel where I could talk about horror and stuff, and I'll have more updates and stuff. I'll make a new channel trailer and all that, but today I want to get started on this because I want to talk about one of my personal favorite horror franchises, my second favorite right behind Friday the 13th, the Halloween franchise. And, yeah, I really love the Halloween movies. I'll do an official ranking sometime soon, but today I wanted to talk about a very divisive entry in the franchise. An entry that I really love that it seems a lot of people don't, and that's cool, you know. But I just wanted to talk about a movie that I personally love. And, you know, just tell people how someone could love this greatly disliked movie. I don't think it's the most hated one in the franchise. I think that goes to, like, Resurrection or the second Rob Zombie one, which I do agree with. I hate those ones. But, that's just me. But the one I want to defend today is Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. So, I actually not really defend, because that sounds a little insecure, as if I feel, like, bad for liking a movie that most people don't, which I don't feel bad at all, and I'm not really insecure about that. Some people kind of come off that way when they defend something. You know, I'm not saying everyone, I'm just saying some people do. You know, they act kind of offended when people don't like something that they like. But either way, that's neither here nor there. So today, I just wanted to talk about how much I love The Revenge of Michael Myers. It's not my favorite, it's my third favorite, right behind the original and Halloween 4. And I just want to tell everyone why I love it so much and just talk about it for a minute. So, The Revenge of Michael Myers, very divisive entry. People have several issues with this movie, including the dumb cops with the bells and whistles and all the dumb music around them. Some people say the score's bad. I wholeheartedly disagree with that one, but we'll just have to agree to disagree on that one. And then Rachel dying at the beginning, which I sort of agree with, but also don't. You'll see what I mean, you know. You'll see that I don't think any of the criticisms are invalid. I very much do, and I'm the type of person who can harp on a movie that I love, and that's exactly what I do. I can harp on this movie all day, really. You know, I can tear it down just as much as I can build it up, but today I just want to talk about how much I love it, because, I mean, no reason in harping on it right now. I'll harp on it when I review it in the future. Deal? Deal. So to sort of just talk about, you know, some of those complaints, not really defend it, like I said, but just kind of talk about why those things don't bug me as much as most people. Well, first off, let's start with Rachel's death, because that's something I hear a lot of people bring up. Now, I love the character of Rachel in Halloween 4. I really do. But to me, it's kind of an Alien 3 scenario where you either take it or you don't, you know? You know, people talk about Alien 3... You know, people will argue about that movie and say that, you know, killing Newt and all the rest of the characters except Ripley at the beginning of the movie was a good call because it brought tension back. It told you that, you know, not even the people who survived the last movie are safe. And some people will say, well, no, because we wanted to see a sequel with all those characters coming back together. So it's give or take there, you know. It's either, you know, add to the sense of dread by killing a well-liked character or, you know, have your fan service, which I'm not saying either are particularly, one is particularly better than the other. I'm just saying I don't mind. I don't like that Rachel died, but it's not something that particularly gets on my nerves. Sorry. And sorry if some of the audio is weird on this video, by the way. Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties here. But this is my first go-around, so sorry about that. But, yeah, to get back on topic, like I said, it's something that you either, take or leave, It's something that will split people forever, saying, should she have died, should she not have? Honestly, I'm more bothered by Jamie dying in 6 than I am of Rachel dying in 5, really, because I like Jamie more than I like Rachel as a character. But that's just me, and, even I even like Curse of Michael Myers. Not as much as I like Revenge, but I like it. It's still in my top 5. Yeah, again, I'll do a ranking some other time, but like I said, Revenge is number 3 for me. So, yeah. And just so people don't think, I'm like, some fanboy just sucking up to this movie. There are things that bug me about it. Like, there are just moments where it goes too far, you know what I mean? Like the cops, I don't particularly mind their humor as much as I don't like the music that plays when they're around. Really? I think that's something that everyone talks about, the music that plays when the cops are around. And, yeah, I gotta agree, that was going a little too far. I don't think there's anything wrong with the movie having a little bit of an icebreaker, because Halloween 5 is one of the more, like, it builds a great sense of dread. It probably has, in my opinion, the greatest sense of dread in the entire series, and don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing it to the first movie when I say this. I am saying there is a difference between tension and dread. The first movie does tension well, does it to like its highest degree. Revenge does dread the best, if you ask me. And then 4 kinda has like the perfect amalgam of the two, if you ask me. That's why I love 4 more than I like 5. If 4 didn't exist, 5 would easily be number 2. And some days I might even put Revenge above 4, but not like for long. It just depends on how I'm feeling, But, yeah, getting to other complaints, the score, I just don't agree. That is a very subjective thing, music. So I'm just gonna say I like it and leave it at that, because that's like barking up the wrong tree there. That's like punching a brick wall and expecting to get somewhere. If someone says they don't like music, they don't like music. There's no personal offense that you should be taking to that. There's tons of music I like that I'm sure people don't like, and I'm sure there's tons of music I don't like that tons of people do like. So, that's just a thing. And I mean, you could encompass that through the whole thing of the movie too. My taste for the movie doesn't match up with your taste, whatever. So, yeah. Little side tangent there, but pretty much, yeah. I like the music. Let me talk about what I do like about the music, just to tell you, like, why I like it. I like how empty it makes the movie feel, and I know that sounds weird, why would you want a movie to sound empty? I like how the music kind of echoes the theme, and it just feels dread. Like I said, it feels like it adds to the sense of dread of the movie. Like, unlike 4 and 6, which have these kind of upbeat interpretations of the Halloween theme, 5 has a very understated version of it, and I think it fits the movie very well. It fits the dread it's trying to induce into the movie. Also, what was the other complaint? I think I addressed all 3 of the biggest complaints I hear. The cops, Rachel, and the music. Oh yeah, also Tina. Can't forget about Tina. I'm just gonna say I don't dislike Tina. I don't like her as much as I like Rachel, but I do not hate her as much as the internet seems to. And again, that's just another subjective thing where it's just like, I know people in real life who are like Tina, so it's very easy for me to adjust to her. I have tons of friends that act like her and her friends, so It just depends on personal experience. If you're not used to being around people like that, then you're probably not gonna like her at all. But me, who just knows people like her, you know, I also just think it's sad when she dies too. When she's just like run, run. It's that the way she says that, it haunts me. It haunts me. Even though she's not my favorite character, it haunts me because you could hear like her last breath like escaping her body as she talked, and it's creepy. It's creepy. I don't know what else to say other than it creeps me out. Okay, which I think a good horror movie should do. Now, for things that I just absolutely love about this movie, things that just put it so high on my ranking, the relationship between Jamie, Michael, and Loomis is, in my opinion, the best in the franchise. It is so good in this movie. All the conversations Loomis has with Michael in the movie, that scene where he's talking to him in the woods and he's like, "Go home, Michael, go home." That, chills every time, because, and also the scenes where Loomis is talking to Michael in the house and he's telling, "Oh, she can take the rage away," and all that. And I want to get to the underlying theme about the movie, because that is the underlying theme about the movie. People can complain and argue about how the movie doesn't make any sense, and I'm not going to say they're wrong, but it's one of those things where it's like I think the overall thing the movie's trying to convey is done and conveyed very well, but it's just when you go into the overarching story and the logic behind it, that's when you get a little into like, okay, what the heck happened here? And I just gotta say, I'm the type of person who, I don't really mind that sort of stuff in horror, because, let's go back to the original Halloween. Like, Loomis shoots Michael 6 times at the end of that movie. And I'm not, by the way, this is not me saying that Revenge is as good as the first movie, but Loomis shoots Michael 6 times at the end of that movie. And then in Halloween 2, Michael gets both of his eyes shot out, presumably. And then he also gets exploded. And then in 4, he gets shot by a whole barrage of police officers and thrown into a mine shaft, and then gets dynamite thrown on him, and he's still alive. And there was never any explanation for any of that occurring, ever. So the whole things going unexplained thing has been around since the first movie, is all I'm trying to say. There's always the aura of things that you're not quite meant to know. So that never really bugged me. You can say, Jamie and Michael having this kind of psychic link was going a little too far. I thought it was really unique. I thought that it was the franchise doing something different right when it needed to, because I hate to tell this to other horror fans, because this is probably going to make people mad, but if you just keep on going by the same formula every single movie, you're going to bore people. You just are. Like, if people always say, "Oh, it should have just been Halloween 4 again with Jamie as the killer," or if you don't want Jamie as the killer, you just say bring Michael back and have it be a rehash of Halloween 4, and it's just like, do we really want a rehash? Do we really want that? Doesn't that sound boring? To me, that sounds more boring than the Halloween 5 we got, and not saying I don't like Halloween 4. I love Halloween 4, but I'm just saying I want things to move forward. I want something different, and Halloween 5 provided that for me, and I'll always appreciate the movie for that, for being ambitious enough to go somewhere. Yes, the script could have used more time in the kitchen. I'm not saying it couldn't. I'm taking the movie quirks and all, faults and all that, So, I'm not, as I said at the beginning, I'm not trying to say the movie is flawless, because it's not. There are moments where Tina gets a little too annoying. There are moments where the cops get a little too over the top, and there are parts where the score is misused. But overall, I think I really do love this movie. And I'm, just talking more about stuff I love. The moment where Jamie almost gets through to Michael at the end. People harp on this moment, by the way, and I will never get it, ever. People harp on the moment where she's in the casket, and, sorry, people harp on the moment when she's in the casket, and she, I'm so sorry about that, where she's in the casket, and she's trying to tell Michael, you know, Uncle? Uncle? And, you know, he takes off the mask, and you see a single tear go down his face. And people harp on that so much, saying, oh, Michael Myers shouldn't be crying and all that. And, you know, I don't really know how to defend that. Again, like I'm saying, I'm not really trying to defend the movie. But it's something where, another thing where I'm just like, I don't mind it at all. It's one of my favorite scenes in the Halloween franchise. And I'm not going to say I understand why a lot of people don't like it, because I think it is a well-executed scene showing that, you know, there's still a man in there. There's still a man in this monster somewhere. You know, you don't understand, you know, why the man is so buried deep, but you know he's in there, and you know, he's struggling. You know that, you know, somewhere deep in there is just a man. Maybe you don't know what the man's looking for either. Maybe he's looking to be loved. Maybe he's looking for affection. Maybe he actually hates that he's made to kill his family. We don't know. Or maybe, you know, it was just a moment of introspection for Michael. Maybe just considering other options he had and then deciding against it. You know, we'll never know the intention, you know, despite what Curse of Michael Myers later tells us, we'll never know the direct intention of the people making Halloween 5 in that scene. I always just take it like that, you know, Michael, there's a man behind the madness, and that's all I'll ever need to know, you know, and it's a really heart-wrenching scene, you know, just, you know, especially when Jamie goes to wipe the tear off his face and all that, and he just freaks out again, you know. And the music in that scene is so great too. It's just the slow version of the theme, and it's so, in my opinion, just so expertly executed. And for other stuff I like, everyone loves the garbage chute scene. I'm not going to go too much into that. It is a well-executed scene. I love it just as much as anyone else. I think overlooked scene is the scene in the field with the car. That is great. I love that very much. That might actually be my favorite scene in the movie right there. Mostly because, you know, that's when Loomis, you know, says the thing to Michael in the woods about, you know, coming home and all that. And I love the part where Michael has his head on the steering wheel and the horns going off. That's just so good to me. You know, I'm a sucker for that sort of stuff. I think that was cool. It's not the first time that's been done in a horror movie, but I love it. It's something that I just can't get enough of. And then, as for other criticisms, how the Myers house looks. Again, another take it or leave it thing. I take it. Most people leave it. You know, I like the Gothic style of the movie. That's probably why I love this movie so much, actually. That's probably a big contributor. There is no word for how much I love Gothic Horror. Gothic Horror is just my jam, you know. If you've seen the trailers for Resident Evil 8 recently, I could not be more excited for that game because of how gothic that game looks. So, yeah. I love me some Gothic Horror. I love all of that kind of crap. So, you know, the more gothic it is, you know, the more I'm just going to eat it up. You know, it doesn't even have to make sense. And that's probably going to get me hate by people. I do think that the overall story of Halloween 5, you know, maybe not logically makes sense, but I think emotionally and the way it conveys it, it does make sense if you just look a little deeper into it. You know, at the end of the day, it's just talking about, you know, the rage inside an individual and just seeing, you know, how, you know, someone can get lost, you know, in their fit of rage. You know, because at the end of the day, you know, we can bring, you know, the Curse of Thorn into this and all that, but at the end of the day, you know, it's Michael. Michael subduing himself to that power, that I think is interesting. Like, he's not trying to fight it. He never tries to fight it. Other than, you could argue he tried to do it in that minute in the when Jamie was in the casket. But other than that, Michael never really tries to fight it. Meanwhile, Jamie, she's fighting it and winning. So I just thought that was an interesting parallel, especially, it all comes together at the end when Jamie sees Michael's face and she says, "You're just like me." That's one of my favorite lines in the movie. Is just, showing, how two people just so far different on the spectrum, like polar opposites, still do have this connection. They have this just unbreakable, like, I don't really know how to describe it. It's sort of an unbreakable, like parallel between the two. Someone who gave into their rage compared to someone who didn't. Both in the same situation, both came from very similar upbringings. But for some reason, one gave into his rage while the other didn't. And you don't know why. I feel like it kind of brings Michael Myers back to his roots in a little bit. Of just, you don't know why this guy's doing what he's doing. No matter what mystical force you ever bring into the story of Michael Myers, it still holds that he is complicit in the whole thing. He is not, he's not sad about it. Maybe deep down he is, but there's something inside of him, curse of thorn or not, that has always been wicked or evil, and that's just the part that we'll never understand about Michael Myers. And, yep, that's it. That's why I love Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, people. Tell me why you like it or don't like it. I can take criticism. Just tell me why you think the way you do, and tell me if you like the new angle I'm going at with the channel, with talking about horror movies. I'm sorry if some of the audio and stuff wasn't ideal in this video. I kind of just made this video on a whim. That's why it's a little crude. That's why I took a little break there on my phone and stuff, because I wasn't really planning ahead for this. It was just something I thought of and I really wanted to do. Defend a movie that I really, really loved. So yeah, Revenge of Michael Myers. I will always love this movie. Sorry, my webcam's weird. So, yeah, just sound off in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next one.